a continent on the edge understanding Africa's coups. Welcome to today's video where we dive into the leading reasons behind Africa's coups. It's like trying to understand why a group of friends suddenly decided to play a high-stakes game of musical chairs with an army tank. Stay tuned as we uncover the key factors driving these significant political upheavals. We'll try to unpack this complicated issue with, hopefully, a little bit of humor because, let's be honest, sometimes you just have to laugh to keep from crying. Ghosts of empire colonialism's toxic legacy. So, to understand Africa's coup problem, we have to go back, way back, to the time when European powers decided Africa looked like a giant, delicious birthday cake. They carved it up, claimed their slices, and guess what? They didn't even have the decency to do it evenly. These colonial powers drew borders like they were playing a game of Pictionary after one too many cocktails. They lumped together different ethnic groups who were like, wait, we don't even speak the same language. And just like that, the seeds of tension were sown. They installed systems of government that were more interested in extracting resources than serving the people. Imagine a landlord who not only takes your rent but also decides what you eat for breakfast. Not cool, right? And when these colonial powers eventually packed their bags and left, they left behind a power vacuum. It's like they cleaned out the fridge but forgot to take the trash out. Empty stomachs, boiling tensions, the economics of coups. Now, imagine you're living in a country where the economy is about as stable as a unicycle on a tightrope. Unemployment is high, poverty is rampant, and the gap between the rich and the poor is wider than the Grand Canyon. That's the reality for many in Africa. When people are struggling to put food on the table, their patience with the government wears thinner than a worn-out pair of socks. And when those in power seem more interested in lining their own pockets than addressing the needs of the people, well, let's just say the military starts to look awfully tempting. It's like that old saying, a hungry man is an angry man, but in this case it's more like, a hungry population is a population ready for a revolution, or at least a strongly worded letter to the editor. But seriously, economic instability creates a breeding ground for unrest. It's fertile soil for charismatic leaders, often from the military, to step in and say, I have the solution, and it involves tanks. Okay, let's talk about the elephant in the room, or should I say, the elephants on the continent. Africa is incredibly diverse, with thousands of ethnic groups and languages. It's beautiful, it's vibrant, but it also makes governing really complicated. Remember those haphazard borders drawn by the colonial powers? Yeah, they didn't exactly help matters. They often pitted different ethnic groups against each other in a competition for resources and power. Imagine being forced to play a game of Monopoly where all the properties are already owned by someone else. And when you have leaders exploiting these divisions for their own gain, it's like pouring gasoline on an already smoldering fire. Suddenly it's not just about politics, it's about identity, it's about history, it's about who gets a bigger slice of the national cake. Now, in many African countries, the military isn't just some abstract entity. It's often seen as the only institution with any real power, the only one that can get things done. Think of it like that one friend who always seems to have their life together, even if it's all held together by duct tape and a prayer. But this perception of the military as a stabilizing force is a double-edged sword. On one hand, they can provide stability during times of crisis. On the other hand, it makes it awfully tempting for them to step in and say, you know what? We'd be much better at running this whole country thing. And once they've tasted power, it's like trying to pry a juicy steak away from a hungry lion. It's not easy. Let's not forget about the meddling kids in the global playground. Foreign powers, often the former colonial rulers, still have a vested interest in Africa. They want its resources, they want its strategic locations, and they definitely don't want any pesky competition on the world stage. So, they sometimes play a role in propping up or undermining governments depending on who's playing ball with their interests. It's like that friend who always tries to set you up on dates with people they think you should be with, even if you're perfectly happy being single. And with the rise of new global powers like China, the competition for influence in Africa is heating up faster than a microwave burrito. It's a complex web of alliances, interests, and let's be honest, sometimes straight-up hypocrisy. So there you have it, a crash course on the factors driving coups in Africa. It's a complex issue with no easy answers, but understanding the root causes is the first step towards finding solutions. Africa's future doesn't have to be written in coups. By addressing inequality, promoting good governance, and fostering a culture of democracy, the continent can break this cycle and chart a new course for itself. Thanks for watching. If you found this video informative, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insightful content. See you next time.